should be good.
All right. Give me just a second here. Sorry, I am ready, but okay. Ready and welcome to Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. I'm Adam.
And I'm Paul.
And I'm Jerry.
And today we've got two awesome guests with us. We've got Mark and Mason from Bearded That Is All. We want to hear their story and all that good stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. How are you fellas doing today?
Doing great.
Doing well.
Thanks for having us on.
We appreciate it. Mark is a veteran of the Army, I believe.
It's the Air Force.
Air Force, yeah. I see that on the patch now. I'm looking at it. I should have looked before I spoke.
You're right.
Looks like you enlisted in 1988 and then again in 2008. Is that correct?
That is right. Yeah, that's right. I enlisted, did my first 6, and I got out. And then after 2001 area, it started hitting me. I needed to get back in after 9/11 and stuff, and finally drug my feet long enough, and I just decided to go back. And I had enough time to get in and still make a difference and get the time in. So that's what I did.
We certainly appreciate that. We're big supporters of the military and veterans and everything that comes along with that here on this show. I've got a buddy that he didn't enlist in 2001. He enlisted in 2002 in the Air Force, and he just retired as a master sergeant. He's still in Japan. He was in Japan. He went to Korea and a couple other places, then in Florida. Then when they came time for his last enlistment, they gave him the option to choose, and his wife is from Japan. So they went back to Japan, and when he retired, he stayed there, and just trying to find the money to go visit the guy because he's posting pictures on Facebook all the time, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
Right.
So I'd like to go up there and check that out. We've been friends since like 3rd or 4th grade, so it'd be good to meet his family and see where he lives and all that good stuff. Just got to get the money together. So, you served in Iraq, Afghanistan and Qatar.
Afghanistan, and my last appointment was Qatar. Yes.
Okay. What about your first go round when you enlisted in '88? Can you tell us about
88. 88. I was a fuel systems technician, fuel systems mechanic on the F-16s, and we didn't deploy at all during that time. Most of my time has been here in Arkansas, Air National Guard.
Okay.
And then, like I said, after 9/11, I got back in 2008. I deployed to Afghanistan. And then again, later in 2016, I went to Qatar. And that was my last one before some medical things came on me, and I ended up, when my enlistment was up, going ahead and getting out medically at that time. But that would be like I said, I was a fuel system mechanic for first part of my career in Afghanistan. After I got back from Afghanistan, they transitioned our base, went to drones, and we lost our mechanic area. And so I had to find another field, and I became a chaplain assistant. I don't know if y'all are familiar with any of that, but chaplains can't carry firearms or any of that nature. So we're there to make sure they can do what they need to do, and of that nature. And that's how I wound up my career in the military doing that.
Okay. I did not know that chaplains weren't allowed to carry firearms.
They are not allowed to carry firearms. No.
That's weird. Are they not still a target out in the field?
Well, they don't like to. They don't. They could be a target. That's why. They have people like a chaplain assistant that are there with them with a firearm.
Okay.
And so I don't know that that's always good, but that's part of that job. So
Okay.
uh,
When you re-enlisted, how old were you in 2008? If
I
you
was
don't mind me
old. Yeah, I was around 40 at the
asking. Okay.
time, I think.
Okay.
'Cause I was out 14. I served 6 years and I was out 14 years. And I said, I went and talked to them and they said, as long as you can get your 20 in before you're 60, and I could. So I was around 40ish when
Okay.
I got back in. And
Well, the only reason I
and I
ask is
was go ahead.
no. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was just saying that that's the reason I got back. I was able to get back in. I could get my 20 in before I was 60. And so go ahead with your question.
Yeah. The only reason I ask is because I saw the other day that the Army raised their enlistment age to 42 here recently.
Really?
So and
Yeah.
I'd said something to my wife about it, and she kindly reminded me that I'm epileptic. So
Yeah.
I'm 42 for another couple months. But
Right, right.
I was never
Yeah.
able to serve for that reason.
Yeah. They're changing a lot of stuff to get people in, I guess. But yeah, 40, like I said, at that point, as long as you can get 20 in before you're 60, I think used to be the standard.
Gotcha. Okay. So, from what I understand, looking at the website, it looks like Mason is the brains, as it were, behind your brand.
He's
So,
definitely the brains.
so
I'm
I'm,
just
I'm
a
looking
look.
I'm looking at this picture here, and Mason, I'm guessing that's you on the motorcycle, right? Or is that Mark?
That would be him.
Okay. So, Mark, I've got that exact same shirt. That sucks to be you. Shirt that you're wearing in that picture there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, so, yeah, let's talk about your brand and how you guys. I mean, obviously, Mark likes his beard. Mason likes his beard. Tell us a little bit how that all, the genesis of that, how that came to be.
You want me to start off with that?
You start off with it.
Well, I just really uh, basically I grew up in a home and a school where I couldn't grow hair long and I couldn't grow a beard, and
Same.
so when I went to a private Christian school when I was younger, and so I had to have a haircut and all that stuff, and so then I joined the military, and obviously you have to have your haircut, and you can't grow. In those days, you really couldn't grow beards, and it was hard to get a waiver. But the things have changed a little bit. So, but I had to stay shaved, clean cut, and all of that. And so, but by the time I got out, I didn't have any hair on my head, so I couldn't grow long hair. And I've always wanted to grow a beard and grow a long beard. Uh, I've had facial hair, but I never could get past the stage in my beard where it was itchy and driving me insane. And so I started looking around to see what I could find to help with that. And I uh, found some folks on YouTube and ran across Dan C. Bearded and and given, using oil and things for the itch. And so I found some Viking Revolution on Amazon. I started out with that, and I started messing with that, and that helped me. I'm not going to say bad things about it, uh, because it did help me get through that area that I couldn't get through, and I just started tampering with it myself. And then Mason came in, and he was working at the bank at that time, so he couldn't grow long facial hair, but he had a beard, and we were discussing it one day, and I think we've got a video on our website that kind of explains the story a little bit. But I started as a hobby, just messing around, making my own oil, and then he came in with the brains, and we started figuring this thing out. And you want to kick in with that, you can. Where it take off from there. That's kind of where it started, and then
Okay.
he came in.
So this was originally. So I've kind of always had some sort of facial hair or beard. I would grow it and then shave it, and I was never really fucking around. But as he started getting invested in this beard oil and stuff, I tried it too, and I ended up keeping the beard. But as he was getting into this, he's had his Mark Rides YouTube channel for years. I saw a way to kind of make this a continuation of Mark Rides as he's able to not ride as much as he'd like. So we took the That Is All from that and then put it in Beard Company. That was the goal there, to kind of continue the Mark Rides, another branch of it. And it took some time. I had no idea what I was getting into. But as we decided to do this, numbers, and we really deep dived into it. There was a lot of R&D phase. I mean, we were in R&D for probably close to a year before anyone even heard of Bearded That Is All. We have our standards of what we put out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of regulations that a lot of people don't know about in making the legalities of it all, and making sure that you're not roasting somebody's face with what they put on it and things of that nature. And so that's where he came in. He could delve into that way more than I could. And
some of those PDFs are like 200-300 pages long. And I would sit there on my lunch hour at work, and I would just read through them, take notes, stuff out. And I thought I had a very, very good idea of how to interpret it, but I wanted to be 100% sure before we gave anyone anything to put on their face. So we eventually had a meeting with Dan Seeger that worked with him a little bit to make sure it needed to be.
And so that's kind of how it came to be. Other than that, it was just an opportunity for me as a father to work with my son and do some things together and grow something together, and to give back to something that my YouTube channel at some point, the whole goal of all of it was to donate and to give back to veterans, and especially to help with veteran suicide. As you know, there's a lot of that, and if you've been in the military, it's affected you one way or another. Somebody, or you've dealt with it, and so that was important to me, and it became important to Mason as well. That's really sure, making the beard oil and all is fun and good, and we're hoping to grow and make it profitable and all of that. But the real mission of this thing is really to give back to veterans and to give back to the community.
Awesome. What's your favorite veterans charity?
We are doing Mission 22 is who we're donating to now. I think we have to apply with them annually, probably, and so that's coming up. But there's Mission 22. There's I'm going to be looking at Tunnels to Towers. That's another one I would at some point like to get involved in. But right now we are partnered with Mission 22.
Okay. Yeah, see a lot of advertisement for Tunnels to Towers. At least I do. But that'll tell you what channel my TV stays on fairly often. That's definitely Fox News.
Right. I get you.
Yeah, those are great, and we're always looking for pretty much any veterans charity with any reputable veterans charity. I understand there's some out there that are giving pennies on the dollar for what they could give, and paying their CEOs more money than they should, and some of them are just flat out scams. And so anytime we got somebody on that has a charity that they like to work with, we like to hear about it, because that way we can be sure to put that out to any audience that might be listening to us, whether it's one person or 30,000 or whatever the number may be, which I can guarantee it's not 30,000 people listening to us, but still we can at least get that information out to, if one person hears it, they can tell others, and that's that's good enough for us. So
Right.
always want to hear about that. So yeah, so I'm sure that Jerry's got a whole list of questions. He usually does. So I'm going to hand it off to him, and we're going to hear what he's got to say.
So start out, how is it working as a father, son, and daughter, sister duo or trio, I guess?
You tell him how it is working with me.
Overall, it's great. He and I definitely have different skill sets, so and we both can be short tempered at times. Sometimes when we're getting upset about something, neither of us will kind of communicate what is upsetting us, and we just keep working through it. But that's not exactly common. But other than that, it's great. We get to spend a lot of time together, um, especially during that R&D phase. I mean, it took months before we had a butter that we could even call butter.
Yeah, it's good. Uh, Working with your son, it can be because I'm old school, and I don't understand all uh, the things that he knows how to do technology wise, and diving into that thing like he does. But it is good. Mari, our third party, uh, keeps us in line. She's my daughter. She's my youngest, and she keeps us in line. She's really the boss when things get a little tension. She'll come in and correct things very quickly. When I say she's young, she's 25 years old, so she's not that young. So, but she'll take care of it. It's been great. Uh, you know, as a father, I want to do something to with him and with her as a family, and for me to leave them something, hopefully, uh, and enjoy making memories together doing this. So we really don't get that mad at each other all that often. Every now and then, I don't understand what he's doing. I think it should be done a certain way, but we can clear those things up pretty quickly. But I would recommend, for the most part, for me, to do something with your kids, to make memories with them.
I think the best way to describe it is probably chaotic in a good way. You see the all the reels and stuff we put on Instagram and Facebook. You don't even know the behind the scenes of getting to the one that actually makes it to the end.
Yeah.
So you guys started July of last year, right? Officially.
Officially.
So how has the first, was it been 9 months, 10 months? How the first or almost year? How's that been so far?
Well, it's been good. Uh, Opening up a new business, especially when you have full time jobs on the outside, is tough at times. And then throw in the fact that I also had neck surgery and back surgery in July and in September. So I was down for until I got released in January. So it's been kind of it's been on him for a few months. I was able to do some things, but throwing that, it made it a little slower. But it has been great. I mean, it's I think we have intentionally kept it uh, a little low key in ways, because we're talking with Dan. You know, you could get overwhelmed when it's just, it looks good on the surface. That it's just us two that are making the oil, and our daughter that's here with us to keep us in line and to do things so you don't want to get overwhelmed. He had explained to us that he had somebody that he had did a review for them, and then they became overwhelmed. Which was great in ways, but it can hurt you and discourage you. So the I would say that we have it, where we want it, as far as all with me being down with the surgeries and everything. But we're looking to grow even more this year, and we have started that. and Mason has now taken on. He's going to take on more, have more time to deal with it, and so overall, it's been, in my opinion, it's been a good start.
I think our first 6 months went way better than I would have ever expected. Um, I expected us to do well, but people liked us from the beginning. It seems like him, our on-screen personality. Um, I mean, in our first 6 months, we were able to donate $150 to Mission 22. That was with us launching and then building from there. So I'm looking really forward to see what we can do this year.
Nice. That's awesome. Especially just starting out, trying to get your name out there to be able to donate anything that first year is awesome. So you guys have five cents right out, 4 cents in a unscented. Was that always the goal to start out with those, or as you guys were kind of doing R&D, you figured out other scent profiles that worked out?
When we were in R&D, I came up with an idea. I think it was a list of 10 cents. We did not have the intention to do 10, but I came up with 10 ideas, and we were going to pick 3. Of those 3, we picked Brass and Bourbon, Warriors Rest, and Freedom Fresh. We got those kind of dialed in. It wasn't towards the end until the end of probably, I think Warriors Rest was the last one we did. So I think we should have an unscented option, and so then we threw standard issue in. The first 3 were intended, and those will probably stay with us for a while. We spent the most time on Brass and Bourbon, but
Yeah, when go ahead.
Oh, I was just, yeah, that was, the question was that our intention to have 4 or 5, the way we've got 4 or 5 cents? I guess he answered the question, but the first 3 are our standard, and the signature scent is the Brass and Bourbon. And as far as growing, and then we did a seasonal scent for Christmas, the Crimson and Chrome, added that on there, and we still have some of that, but I don't know. We wanted to dial those in and get those things and get the quality of our product first before we started venturing out in other scents and things like that. But he has some scents, lined up. It's just a matter of time before we start dropping some of those this year.
So we kind of talked about it leading up to this over the last, I don't know, couple months. Those are going to be kind of like a limited or seasonal release. Do you guys have any plans to add any more standard releases, or are you going to stick with these and then just do limited or seasonal releases?
The 3 that are coming this year are permanent additions to the lineup. They're just coming out season. So the only time, as far as I know right now, the Christmas time scents, those won't stay around for the year. The Crimson and Chrome will be back next year. For this year, towards the end.
Can we talk about those new scents, or are you guys going to hold off on those?
We can talk about one of them.
What?
We have
Pull up the info on it.
We have kind of our.
It's our next.
Our next scent that we'll be doing.
That little mock-up that you sent me. I think Paul will be a big fan of this one. Adam, I don't know, but Paul and myself definitely will be.
We're stepping out of our comfort zone just a little bit and kind of going into a more spring-forward scent with it'll be bright mint berry, soft cherry blossom, and quiet water lily.
Like I said, Paul, that's right up our alley. Adam,
I can see the look on his face. And I don't know either. That's his department on that, and then we'll see what it is when it comes about. It'll be good, I know, but we'll see what it is when it arrives.
Adam likes the tobacco vanillas, kind of like
Right.
the brass and bourbon and the Final Flight, that kind of profile.
So we have scents coming out for everyone this year. We'll have another completely all natural scent.
So we have a question in the chat. The Bearded Texan said he never used any of your products, but he's heard good things, and he wants to know what the carrier profile is.
Yes. I want to make sure I get it right. Oh yeah, it's right here. We have golden jojoba oil, argan oil, meadow foam seed oil, apricot kernel oil, and castor oil. And then we also include some vitamin E in there for shelf life.
Yeah, we found you guys. Paul, what was that? That was a Veterans Day episode that we did?
Yeah, I believe so.
So, yeah, we picked some up. I picked up the Brass and Bourbon and the Final Flight for Veterans Day episode. Adam couldn't make that, but we had a cigar guest on from Monte de Leon Cigars here in Florida. Got him some samples because he's local to me. He loved the stuff. I don't know if he ever ended up ordering any, but he said after he got done with the little samples, he's probably going to order it because which one? I think he said the Brass and Bourbon was a big fan of that one. I like both of them. I actually just finished up the Final Flight today, and the Brass and Bourbon, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday. So I remember talking about the new scent, so I was going to wait till that came out, place an order for that, and then some more because those two are definitely big fan. I'm a big fan of those two scent profiles.
Brass and Bourbon is probably our most popular.
Yeah, that one and then Warriors Rest will be a close second, and then Final Flight is coming on pretty strong. So since it's come out,
yeah, I've been looking at that Warriors Rest because I like a nice lavender, like calm down at the end of the night sort of scent profile. So I've been looking at that one, and then
it's a good one.
I don't know if I've ever had one that had chamomile in it. I've had like just lavender, vanilla, lavender, like sandalwood or whatever. I don't know if I've had one with chamomile, so definitely interested in trying that one. That's definitely
Warriors Rest is a kind of a unique profile, but it's really good. I've been wearing it just during the day here recently.
nice.
I enjoy it at night. I like to put the butter on at night
Yeah.
before I go to bed on the Warriors Rest for sure.
Yeah, I've been wearing the Final Flight all weekend. I've been out of town. I literally got home right before we got on. Then that's what I took with me, Final Flight, this weekend. So I've been wearing that all weekend. I really like that scent. I thought I liked the Brass and Bourbon better when I just opened the samples that Jerry sent me. But I think when push comes to shove, after I've used pretty much all of both of these samples, I think Final Flight I like a little bit better. But they're both fantastic. I've really enjoyed them. Great oil. I was having for whatever reason, I was getting a little bit of dry skin. And it got real hot here and then got real cold, and I had some dry skin going on in my beard. And I switched over to your guys' stuff, and 2 days of using it, I mean, I'm totally fine now again. So I mean,
awesome.
Just a testament to the good product, the good ingredients and things like that, and the scent's fantastic as well. So can't complain. And I have to do a callback on the mentioned Viking Revolution. Glad you guys got with Dan C and didn't follow the path of Viking Revolution, because their products are fucking absolute shit.
Yeah. Look, we tried
I was
them.
trying to keep it nice on here. When I said I didn't want
I'm not gonna be nice to them. They have some of the worst products that are being sold out there right now, and it's disgusting.
to.
Yeah, no, we tried it on here, and we didn't take the time really
Right.
to use it long enough before we reviewed it. And we're like, oh yeah, this stuff's good. And then after that,
Like
2
2
days
days
later.
later.
yeah, like 2 days later, Paul's like, I don't know about y'all, but this makes my face feel like shit. And I was like, yeah, it sucks real bad. We got to do it. So we did a Halloween episode where we just shit all over it.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that if I can find it. Yeah.
So we,
Nice.
yeah, we try to do our homework a little bit better now so that we don't have to shit on somebody. But if we do, we're taking a big dump, and we did.
Yeah, we're coming up on 3 years doing the show with a product just about every week, and that's by far the worst product we've ever had on this show.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't have it very long. I can assure you. I found a local guy in Hot Springs, Arkansas, that barber that they were making their own, and so I started delving into the good stuff,
Mhm.
and then just and I got on to Dan C and the things that he was recommending, and I've got a whole bathroom full of different products that I still use other than mine, but I found the good stuff, and so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
you found the good stuff, and you make the good stuff.
Yes.
You know, these guys, they told you what Jerry's right. I do like brass and bourbon.
Okay.
That's
It's,
right up your alley.
It is right up my alley. Now, there's two kinds that I like. It's got vanilla, got some, maybe some bourbon, some oak, some leather, those types of things. When it's all together, great. Or I like for a cologne kind of scent where it's almost like I've got a carnival barker in my beard where he announces me into any room that I can. And it's not about the strong scent. It's just that
Okay.
with those cologne type scents, they tend to have a stronger scent about them just by virtue of what they are. But I do enjoy those very much. And Jerry's right. The brass and bourbon is right up my alley. Lots of good things going on there. And I really, really like that one. So you guys are making some good stuff.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
So you guys started doing this this spring edition field kit with the
Right.
the Freedom Fresh and the Warriors Rest. What was the thought process behind kind of packaging those two together?
Well, those are our two natural scents, and they're very spring forward. So as we're coming out of the winter months where you want typically some warmer scents, Warriors Rest and Freedom Fresh are some brighter scents for spring. We thought we might just pair those together for people, give you a little bit of day-night action.
So I got to ask, how much of that fur comes out in that one oil?
The
The-
balsam fir.
Yeah.
Let me get the exact.
Is it more like wintergreen minty forward, or is it more of like that balsam
You-
fir, or is it
It's very
combo.
challenging to mask the winter green. So that's definitely what hits your nose first, and especially when people just smell it out of the bottle, it's kind of got that final flight effect where you have to go for that second whiff because the first scent of final flight is just pure booze.
Which is not maybe a bad thing. you know.
I like that. But especially when Final Flight's in your beard, you get the whole experience. But Freedom Fresh is the same way. In the bottle, you get all that winter green. In your beard, winter green is a top note, so it's going to dissipate in like 50. So after that, you just kind of have the hinoki wood and the balsam on your beard for the rest.
Yeah, a lot of times when you see mint and whether it's balsam fir or pine or one of those kind of scents, it's kind of at least for me, I get a little hesitant with how much that profile comes through. Because I've had some that honestly smelled like you rolled around in a Christmas tree farm
Yeah.
Well, all of our scents are IFRA safe, so they're not going to burn your skin or anything. But because of that, wintergreen has a very low amount in which you can use it. So, but it is a strong scent for that low. But it dissipates fairly quickly, and then you get into the woodsiness.
Well, I tried to mute myself, and I ended up muting y'all. And that doesn't mean that we didn't get what you said. We definitely did. I just muted my own speakers, but I'm over here lighting a lighter and clicking it down on the damn. Did it get any of that? Did y'all hear any? Okay, cool.
No.
Just making sure I didn't. You know,
You good?
So the names. I mean, I feel like they're fairly. And I might be taking a question away from Jerry. I'm pretty good for doing
Go
that.
for it.
I mean, they're fairly self-explanatory. And so, first of all, before I ask this question, I want to go back to what I said a minute ago about just absolutely shitting on that product. I want you guys to know that I'm not going to speak for these two, but I will say for myself, if I don't like what you've got and I feel the need to shit on it, I will shit on it to your face, just so you know. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. So back to what I was going to say, these names. Could you, for anybody that might not be, maybe it's not clicking for somebody that's listening or something like that, can you explain where the name's from? I mean, clearly they're military themed, but could you just kind of throw that out there and let people know what those names represent?
Yeah. So the naming is pretty much on me, but he gets final say of everything I bring to him. And I have been in production. I've done short films, and I write scripts, and so my thing that I wanted to do differently with these synths is have each one kind of tell a story from top note to. So when we did the first one, we wanted pretty standard. It originally started was just going to be a pretty just bourbon scent. Men like masculine fragrances tend to be wood or bourbon. So we were starting with that, but then it kind of naturally evolved into something more, and we found that brass element. So brass and bourbon is just it is what it's called. It's brass and a little bit of brass and some bourbon. Freedom Fresh was his story from a motorcycle ride that he loves.
Yeah, it's just one of my favorite rides. Is what it really turned into being is the Talamina Scenic Byway here in Oklahoma across the state line. Just out on a morning ride and the freshness hitting you out there in the wind and that's where that turned into where that came from basically on that one.
Kind of just wanted a scent that smelled like freedom.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
So, and it's fresh. So Warrior's Rest was a little different. We knew early on we wanted the lavender and the chamomile and sandalwood. We didn't have a name for it though. And eventually we just kind of came to that Viking and we got to Warrior's Rest in the end. Standard issue was the easiest. That just made sense.
Yeah.
And then the Final Flight.
Yeah, that one.
And the Final Flight was based on a story of mine coming out of Afghanistan and landing in Kyrgyzstan after we had come out. Transitional base where we're getting ready to fly home. My supervisor had saved some cigars, and so we had a cigar and a drink there and celebrated. And so that's where that story came on. Waiting on the final flight, or waiting on the flight to come home.
Okay. Well, so now to kind of delve into that story a little bit, one of the charities that we've, highlighted here in the past, whatever, Cigars for Warriors. Folks like us that have a cigar collection that's way too big, we can donate that to folks overseas. Were those, were those cigars from Cigars for Warriors, or were they just some that somebody happened to have, or?
I think there were some that the way I'm going to understand it is that they're just some he had, and he saved them for that very purpose for when we got out of there.
That's a damn good experience. That's kind of how we are. I mean, we review cigars on here, and usually it's cigars pairings between the cigar and whatever we're drinking on that particular day. But I went to the cigar lounge on Friday night with a couple of friends, and you're paying way above MSRP for a singular cigar, but you're paying for the experience. You sit there in the bar, you have a drink, you smoke your cigar, you watch some games on TV, and you bullshit with your friends. So that's a cool experience for you guys to have, for sure, and that's an awesome memory for you to have, and awesome story for us to hear now. So that's really cool. Have you guys ever thought about doing, since you've at least enjoyed a cigar once in your lifetime?
Once or twice.
Have you guys ever thought about doing a scent? It's for people that enjoy cigars on a regular basis.
Has that one come across in your mind? I have thought about some, some tobacco scents, but that's really his area of expertise. I sit back and I do have some say in it, but he really works on the scent profiles.
Sure.
I have some ideas for some tobacco forward scents.
Okay.
I think with having Brass and Bourbon and Final Flight last year, those are kind of tobacco. We're taking a pause from that this year, and then maybe next year we'll get back into some warmer scents with them.
Okay.
But they're definitely,
Okay. Well, just some unsolicited advice from somebody that uses beard products and smokes cigars fairly regularly. A lot of them, cigars are very heavy and they stick around in your beard for a long time, and the beard products, they end up competing, and you end up smelling the cigar and you smell the beard product. They don't always work real well together. So, just something to keep in mind for, whenever you decide, or if you decide to do that. I suggest maybe smoke a cigar and then
Yeah.
really think about it. What would work well with this scent that I smell in my beard, because it's going to be there. It's going to be there. And it takes, even if you wash your beard immediately after, it takes a while for that to come out of there. You'll still smell it that next morning. So,
Right.
Just to throw that out there. But Jerry, I'm sure.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jerry, what else you got?
On this little topic, do you still enjoy a cigar here and there?
For me, on occasion, I will. I'm not a daily, but on occasion, I will. If I'm with friends and we will light up one occasionally. Yes.
Do you have a favorite go-to one, or just whatever's there?
I don't. I am not a cigar connoisseur. What I did, I had a friend. He worked at a cigar lounge here in town, and I would just go into him, and he would always tell me, he'd just go in there and get me what he called a short story, and something light, and I would just let him hook me up with what he thought, because I wasn't. He was the expert. He traveled all over the world to places that, like, I guess down Guatemala or Nicaragua or places like that, I think. And so I just let him direct me in what he thought I should have. So I don't have a favorite, no.
All right.
But they were good. They were pretty quality. So
Yeah, usually those lounge owners and employees will steer you the right direction. They do their research and they know what to recommend. They do a pretty good job usually. So going back to the brand and the business, what's been the hardest part starting up, or the hardest part over the last couple months about starting up the brand?
what would you?
I know exactly what's
But you start then.
Our labels are kind of my biggest accomplishment. I love our labels. I work with a guy I went to high school with. He does the art for our labels. Communicating with print companies exactly what I want and what I'm expecting, and then getting something in the mail and they did not interpret me the way I needed to. That's been the hardest part for me. And then I think the other stuff is just you can study it and you'll learn it. Takes time, but communicating with companies that you have no real say in what happens before it comes. All the external factors are the most difficult. We can handle it with our own hands here. It can get done.
I guess for me, really, because it's a lot of, and I don't keep bringing up my age and all, but this is a lot of social media driven type things, and understanding for me, advertising and algorithms and all of that stuff, and how to get your product out there in front of people is somewhat challenging for me to understand. But we're getting there on it. But there's some challenges on that for sure. But those are the things that I struggle with. Is trying to figure out how to exactly get it out there in front of people. With paying, you can pay for ads, you can pay for all kinds of things, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss, and so getting that algorithm, however that that is a very hard thing to find out. I found out in YouTube, you can do a video and it gets thousands and thousands and views, and you do the same kind of video the next day, you might get one. So you never know what you're getting into. But just the advertisements, figuring out, we've got to do farmers markets, things like that. We take the product to, getting involved in those things and which ones to get involved in. There's a lot to it, but it's an enjoyable experience overall to figure these things out.
Social media is hard to figure out unless you're doing it as a full-time thing, because like you said, 1 minute you got one or two reels or posts or videos on YouTube that are doing great, and next thing you're doing the same video with a different for you guys, like a different product, and it flops. Like they're always changing their algorithm and how it's thrown out there. You could use the same hashtags, the same this, the same that, and it just doesn't go anywhere. So unless you're doing it as like a full-time, like always on it, trying to figure it out, it's so hard to figure it out. They're always changing.
Yeah, I make my day job, I make my living in IT, and you would think that somebody like me, or at least I'm sure there are people out there that know how to do that shit. I can't figure it out. I own a business as well in the neighboring town. And then even this podcast, Jerry takes care of all the social media. He's quite a bit younger than I am. He's got his finger on the pulse a little bit more as far as that goes. I can't wrap my head around it. But my goal. So I've got a 17-year-old daughter, and when I started this podcast, I started a TikTok as well. And she said, if Adam ends up with more followers on TikTok than I do, I'm going to be mad. Well, that's my goal.
Right, we got to start working on that now.
She's about to be 18. I don't know how many followers she's got, but yeah. So that's my goal, at least for a day. But I can't wrap my head around it either. And I work in what I do. I work. It's algorithms and code. Pretty much all day long for me, and I cannot work that thing out. For my business, the reason I brought that up is because I do the paid ads, and that has been a boon for the company itself. But I've even got somebody else taking care of my Facebook ads for me because I can't work it out. My wife does some things, and then this gentleman, he takes care of the rest. And I have no idea what to do. You put it in front of me and it's like a chimpanzee doing a math problem. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at or what I'm doing. So I let people who know better than I do take care of those details. And for the longest time, Jerry, you've been doing our social media and stuff for about a year now, I guess. So for the first 2, I did all of that, and I didn't. I mean, I did the best I could. I don't think it did much. We've certainly seen a leap forward in social media being an advantage for us since Jerry took it over. But like I said, he's got his finger on that pulse a little bit better than I do. So, Paul and I are a little bit older than Jerry, and even if we could figure it out, I don't think either one of us really wanted to fuck with it a whole lot anyway. And Jerry enjoys it; he's good at it. So
Yeah,
we're definitely thankful to him.
I have
Look,
social media to enter contests and try to win free shit.
Yeah. Well, that's what he's for.
Yeah,
It is challenging, especially with the way Meta does the bids on ads and everything, because you have to, set your budget to what other people in your niche are budgeting, and then sometimes you'll do really well, and sometimes you're just, kind of tossing that money every. I have friends in marketing and everything. But even they tell me it's getting harder and harder because as social media continues, people's attention spans are getting shorter, and you have less than 3 seconds to get them hooked on whatever you're showing them.
Yep.
So it's got to stand out fast.
that's the challenge too. Is that the very thing that you're using to get their attention about your product is the thing that is shortening their attention span. That's
Yeah,
you're
right.
That's like putting a advertisement for a local fire department on a burning building. Like it doesn't,
Well-
but it's the truth. That's what's shortening their attention span, but that's what you have to use now.
Well,
Yeah.
what was that? Wayne sent us that advertisement with the
Oh
the
yeah,
fi-
he
the fire.
did actually.
Our buddy in Western Kentucky. I would imagine. I didn't look at what the truck was. I'd imagine that was somewhere.
It was a
local to
fire.
him.
It was a fire department truck. It was
Yeah.
it was like an F-250 or something like that.
And it said like
engulfed in
whatever.
flames.
Yeah, whatever fire department, and it was up in flames. So bad day for those guys.
That's that's the catch-22 rock in a hard place type situation that you have or that you face whenever you're messing around with social media. So if you're able to work that out, that's all. And I'm assuming that you're quite a bit younger than I am, Mason. So I'm assuming that you probably got your finger on the pulse a whole lot better than I do, just like Jerry does. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's what his job is. He has a lot of jobs, and I give him a lot of jobs because he's 28. 28?
27 right
Yeah.
now. You're
He's,
aging me.
yeah, I'm aging him too quick.
Yeah,
he's 27, be 28 in a couple months. That's right. So he's
young.
well versed in all this computerized stuff. But I'll be 59 in a couple of months, so I'm way out there as far as that goes. I try my best, but that's why I hired him.
Well, I'd have put you at 49 if you hadn't already given me a simple equation to work out your age. But yeah, it's always good to, especially in this day and age, it's always good to have somebody that is able to work that shit out and figure out what needs doing and how to do it. And luckily we've got Jerry and you've got Mason, and everything will work itself out. So.
Oh yeah.
So to kind of piggyback off that question, what's been the biggest surprise with starting this company?
You got a good answer for that one? I mean, the biggest surprise is that for me is the amount of people that have reached out to us that have enjoyed the product. Uh, like you guys are, I don't know where you're in Kentucky, and I don't know where the other two
We
guys
got
are
Kentucky, Maryland, and then I'm in Florida.
in Florida, and just the places in the short amount of time that it has reached out to, and because he has done such a good job with our at first our marketing and our labels and the quality of you know it. Sometimes people talk to us and they it feels like they think that we're uh, some bigger than we are. We're two guys, three, and my daughter in this house, or here when we get orders in, we're the ones making the orders, packing the orders, doing all. And there are a lot of companies just like us, but it just amazes me uh, in the short amount of time where all this that we're sending product to, and just it started right here from a simple conversation to now we're talking to you guys wherever you guys are in Florida, Kentucky, and we've sent it to most. I guess we're closing in on most of the states.
Yeah,
I guess.
you got a calendar, or not a calendar, a map over there. We got to put up. We're gonna push pin everywhere our products have gone, but it is clearing most of them.
Yeah, it's that's been the biggest kind of surprise for me is for me. I mean, I knew, and not everybody's going to like the product, but I feel like it's good product, and we weren't going to send it out unless we felt like it was good, and just where it has reached in a short amount of time for us, we're thankful for that for sure, and but somewhat surprised in some of the things, yes.
I think what surprised me the most is just how awesome the bearded community has been.
Yeah.
We've met some really cool people. Um, we worked with Santa Tom for Crimson and Chrome. He was, happy to do that. Um, I've chatted with Bearded Chief for a while, and he's an awesome dude. Bishop, we got a lot of people, and it's not they don't act like influencers or content creators. They'll text you and ask you how you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just a great community.
Yeah.
We've heard that from a lot of other companies, other beard companies, that it's, that they've experienced that same thing. As a matter of fact, in the chat, Bearded Texan said that Bearded Chief speaks highly of y'all.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That's a question that I had, that maybe Jerry had too, was if or who you have worked with in the beard oil, the beard product industry, or if you had reached out to anybody when you first started, or anything along those lines.
Yeah, we had we went as far as we could get to, and then I guess our biggest was when we reached out with Dan C. Bearded and had a consultation with him and worked with him, and he worked out some things for us as far as our questions that we had, as far as what Mason's questions, especially when we were trying to decipher the IFRA regulations and guidelines and things of that nature, getting a better understanding of that kind of thing. And I don't know of anyone better that I've reached out to or seen on, and there's a lot of them other than Dan. He's the expert on the subject, so to speak.
He was such a nice guy too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just like he is when you're watching a video of his, is how he just talks to you, and normal. And then everybody else, I've said it. I kind of explained it like I ride motorcycles, and I'm in a Veterans Motorcycle Association motorcycle group, and the motorcycle community is a lot of veterans are in that, and it's like a brotherhood, and the bearded community is very similar to that. I have come to find, and that's one of the reasons. Another reason that I like it so well is it's a brotherhood, and that's a good thing. We all need that.
Well, I got to ask then, have you ever heard of Rolling Thunder?
Is that the ride going up to? Where is that at? Is that in?
Well, I mean, there's chapters all over the
Okay, yeah,
all over
yeah,
the country.
yeah.
But we had the Kentucky president and the Kentucky chapter president on, and he is the director of Veterans Outreach, I believe, for Jay
Okay.
Mattingly, Bourbon here in Kentucky, and
Yeah.
Todd Matonich. And that was, well, I say last week. That one came out Monday, didn't it? I believe it came out Monday or last Monday. Anyway, I'll have to look, but it's I would encourage you to go back and watch that or listen to that. But that's another veterans motorcycle club
Yeah.
that it's really cool. They do a lot of good work with veterans. He was in the Air Force as well.
Yeah, I'm in the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association.
Okay.
And I think our first chapter was opened up there in Kentucky.
Okay.
I don't know which. I know our nationals was. I rode to Louisville. I'm not real fond of Louisville traffic
Me either.
and interstates. Man, they need to fix the interstates there. But
I said that
It-
before you said traffic. I'm not fond of Louisville at all, but the
Oh.
traffic there is horrendous. It's
It-
absolutely
yeah,
Years
Well,
ago when we visited and we stayed at the Airbnb, it was fine because we walked everywhere. But if
Yeah,
you had to
yeah.
drive, it took an hour to get 5 feet down the road.
oh,
It's crazy, but Kentucky on a whole was a beautiful ride, and for sure. Outside of Louisville and all of that, it was really great. But yeah, our association started in Kentucky, and
okay.
we got chapters all over the.
Well, the little time
Country
I was
also.
in Arkansas shows me that it's Kentucky and Arkansas, as far as the landscape goes, it's fairly similar. Until you get to
Similar.
the mountains, and that's a little bit different. But
Yeah.
from this side of the mountains all the way down through Western Kentucky, I'm originally from Western Kentucky, and it's flat as it can be out there, and it reminded me a lot of Arkansas whenever I went through Arkansas.
Yeah, I enjoyed that over around the land between the lakes area, I guess.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. Yeah, it's real nice out there. The land between the lakes area is, and Paul and I host another.
So be careful. Don't drive at night in land between the lakes.
Yeah, we host another conspiracy or another podcast. It's all based on conspiracies and things like that, but we dive into cryptids and whatnot. And there's a cryptid down there called the Western Kentucky Dogman.
Yeah,
So, like Paul said, be careful at night.
yeah, I will.
If you see something, speed up. Don't stop.
I think I have seen some things on YouTube about that area, about that kind of thing you're talking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's funny because growing up down there, I didn't ever hear about it, but once I got up here within the last year, it came to my attention. But it's episode 24 of this season. Todd Matonich,
Yeah, it was
Kentucky chapter of Rolling Thunder. So it came out. It's
Right.
one right before the St. Patty's Day special.
it was like 3 or
Okay.
4 episodes ago. It was within the last. It was probably right about a month.
St. Patty's was the last one we dropped, and it was right before that.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. So it was recent.
but definitely worth checking out because Todd, he's a really cool guy, and he does a lot of
And
good charity work with.
I was going to say Jay Mattingly does a bunch with charity.
Jay Mattingly does as well. Yeah. We really like those guys and appreciate them coming on the show and all that. But just like we do with you. While you were talking about what you do with your, the motorcycle club, I wanted to bring that to your attention while we were talking about it.
Good, thank you. I'll look into those.
And then the Bearded Texan said he appreciates you guys actually putting the work and research into blending and doing your own testing. a lot of companies, new beard companies, are just buying wholesale carrier blend oils and throwing their fragrance in it, which some people say you can tell, some people say you can't. Personally, I think you can tell when a company sits there and does their research and tries to figure out the best oils to use and which fragrances to use versus just buying a 5-gallon, 20-gallon jug and just mixing it all together and sending it out. So he appreciates that. I know I do, and I'm sure these guys do as well. I had another question to go along with it, and I completely lost it. Oh, going back to you guys packaging and putting all this stuff together. Mason, you had a fun little trip the other day, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I had a lot of life thrown at me this week.
He was trying to get a package to, what was it, the post office or UPS,
Yeah.
and he blows a tire. The tire was completely shredded, it looked like, and
And I mean, it was pretty. I don't know when it blew out. I got here to pack the package, and I saw my tire when I got out of the car, and I said, "That looks a little low. I'll air it up before I go." Well, I get everything packed. I go out to the car. I start airing it up, and it will not air up. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just wait till he gets here. Maybe he can help me out. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yes.
We got the bigger air compressor, and it still did not air up. We're like, okay, whatever. We'll just put the donut on, and then upon taking it off, we discovered the back was just completely gone. So that turned into 2 new tires this week.
oof.
Yes. Need some more sales.
My daughter did that not too long ago. She hit something, and then she drove all the way home on the flat tire, and then told us that the tire was flat.
Right.
Got out and looked at it, and I thought, I was like, well, maybe it's we can just plug the tire. And I went out and looked, and the whole back side of it against the rotor was a series of holes big enough to put my fist in. Just it's like, what are you doing? What did you hit? Did you hit a dead reindeer? What's happening here? It's just destroyed. So yeah. And then a week later, she popped the driver's side front tire. So 2 tires within a week.
Yeah.
Feel your pain.
Yeah.
Well, as of right now, you can use code FLATTIRE on beardusa.com for 15% off.
Well, you gotta
I was-
get the positives out of it.
It's easier to
Hopefully, I
sell
don't need
than-
that. Hopefully, I don't need that.
Yeah, I was just pulling up the post about it, trying to figure out what day that ended. So, flat tire gets you 15% off until April 2nd. So, if you guys, whoever's listening live, because this will come out after April 2nd, but if you guys are listening live, go save yourself 15% with that
If you have a flat tire.
horrible story. Hopefully, you don't have a flat
Look at
tire.
people with flat tires.
You got to send proof of your flat tire. Yeah, I wanted to get that out there, just get that 15% out to everybody. Well, the few of listening, but yeah, I was watching that reel and I was like thinking, because it said something about like bad time or something. I'm like, oh, you're gonna get to the post office like 5 minutes after it closes or whatever, and it's like, oh, I got a flat tire.
Yep.
And I didn't make it. Yeah, so it just kind of goes to show what a small company has to go through to get products out. And going back to Dan C, he was, if he's not the first, if he wasn't the first, he was one of the first guys that when I first decided, hey, I'm going to grow it out, because it was always through like high school and college, it was like, all right, let it grow because I don't feel like shaving, and then all right, I got to shave it off or clean it up. And then sometime in college. I don't remember when it was. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go. And I got to that point where it just itched and just got annoying. And I kept hearing stuff about oils and this and that, and so I started doing my research on YouTube, like you guys said you did. And he came up along with a few others, and yeah, I've learned a lot from him when I first started out. Still do. I'll watch a couple of his reels or his videos on YouTube here and there. Still learn a bunch of different stuff, and you could find a bunch of great products by listening to what he has to say.
Yeah.
So
We need to get him on. I'm surprised that we haven't done that. I haven't reached out. I don't think Jerry has either. But we need to get him on.
that'd be kind of cool.
So you guys got butters and oils. Is there any plan for the future to add other product lines, different, grooming products, anything else that, the natural
Absolutely.
evolution?
We have plans, like he said earlier. We're kind of taking things more at a slower pace to make sure we don't overwhelm ourselves. But we have plans to get a few other products besides just oil and butter out.
Yeah, I think we're gonna next. We're gonna work on a balm, which is different from the butter.
Mhm.
We're gonna add but getting the right amount of wax in it for us is just me. I'm not a guy that likes a lot of stickiness or whatever in my beard, and so we're gonna start working on the balm. We have already experimented once or twice with it, and it wasn't up to quality that I would like. So that is the next thing that we're working on, is getting at least one balm, getting a balm out there, because there are some people that like a balm or something more hold for their mustaches and things of that nature. So that's next, and then there'll be some other things at some point, but that's our next one out. I'm going to be pushing now. He has part of the company too, so I have to go through him, but that's kind of where we're leaning.
Nice. Any thoughts on like shampoo and conditioner? Possibly.
I've looked into those. The answer is yes, at some point. That is quite the endeavor.
Yeah.
I don't. But yes, I'd love to do that at some point.
Yeah, there's a lot that go into those two
Yeah.
versus just I don't want to say just throwing a bunch of oils and fragrances together, but it's a lot more than just putting oils and fragrances together with those two.
Yeah, definitely a lot more with the beard wash and conditioners, for sure.
Yeah.
But they are on the radar.
Very cool.
So what is your process on, I guess, coming up with new scents? Just, you guys think of, just your brainstorming? Do you have other people close to you that give you, I'm sure people are in your ear saying, why don't you do a tangerine oil? Why don't you do this and that? And like, how do you come up with the ones that you kind of want to move forward on and want to really put on the top of the list to move forward with?
I still have some of that list from the very beginning with the 10 items. Those are ones I'd like to do. And you're right, I do have friends that tell me, you should do this scent. You listen to them because some of them have grown out beards just to support the company. But a lot of it's just brainstorming and figuring out what is the next, out of the options we have, what's going to be the next one for the company. Not necessarily what I or he would, pick, but what's the next natural step for bearded.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's so many scents out there. So, I mean, it's hard to, you want to have you want to touch the whole market, but you want to make sure that the products you put out are also perfect
It is.
as well. You know.
And as we said before, we try to. There's a story that goes along with every scent, and so the story is important to us with the scent, and to give it a little something extra.
Yeah, no, and that's awesome, and I think a lot of people that stumble across you guys and really look into it are gonna respect that as well. That you're not just throwing out some lemongrass blueberry scent just because you think somebody might like it. You gotta develop it, have a story to it, and that's really cool. We respect that as well.
Yeah, that's one thing that's on your website when you click on, like, I pulled up Brass and Bourbon. You got a little story to go along with it. It's late Western hums. On a dusty scene, you're alone in your workshop, hands stained with brass. A half-empty glass of bourbon sits beside you. The faint smoke of a cigar still lingers. You're reloading, escaping, unwinding. It's not chaos, it's calm. It's not wild, it's earned. And you got that with all the other scents too. That's always, like, nothing you have to do. It's something kind of fun and cool to read while you're kind of reading through the profiles to kind of see where your guys' mindset was coming up with these profiles. So some companies do it, some just kind of, hey, here's a profile, and it's always fun to read, whether it's something like this that makes sense or just some outrageous, like, crazy story. There's was it High West that has those crazy tasting notes?
Yeah, High
Yeah.
West has some
So-
good. High West is they're out west. They're a whiskey producer, and they have some of the best tasting notes, and they lean into it. I think. I mean, they have ones like wet chalk and
it's like sitting on your back porch smoking a cigar while drawing with a blue crayon overlooking the ocean, and like obviously it's all like some crazy stuff that they just decide to throw together, but it's fun to read. Like I said, those, and then something like your guys said, it's a little bit more more natural and more believable than some of these other stuff. But it's fun to read while you look through and try to figure out which scent profiles. Talk about that. Do you guys have any thoughts about doing? I wanted to ask this earlier, and it completely escaped my mind, about doing like samples. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. I sent out a sample this week when I sent that Freedom Fresh. The samples we have here, they're not ready to be sold. I'm not sold on the bottles they're in, but I want to do samples. I've just got to find the right way to do them.
No, that makes sense. We've had companies where it's just like a little, was it like 5 milliliter bottle or vial, whatever you want to call it, with a handwritten label on it saying this is the scent. We've had companies that literally took their main label, shrunk it down to fit on these. So yeah, it's however you guys feel is markets your guys the best, and if you guys are definitely excuse me, if you guys are doing oils or samples, I think that's gonna work, because at least for us, it's nice buying for you guys, like a 5-pack or a 4-pack if you don't throw the unscented in there. Be able to try all of them, see which profile we like the best.
And especially with it being fragrance, because when we go to holiday markets or the farmers markets and everything, people there are able to smell them and figure out which one they want. Try to do my best on the website to describe what you're going to smell when you get it. Everyone smells a little differently.
No, that those descriptions actually are pretty spot on. Like I said, this which one did I click on? The Final Flight, bourbon cigar, charred wood smoke, brown sugar, roasted marshmallow, sandalwood, and musk. I was sitting down today. I couldn't remember if I put this one on or the Brass and Bourbon. and I knew I finished one of them off the other day, so I went on the website just to kind of look because I kept getting like this like almost smoky note to it. And then it popped up on here, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, I had that one on today." So you did a killer job with those notes there because they're definitely spot on.
Thank you.
I think me and Paul were talking about that when we had your products on back in what was that, September. That it definitely spot on, and that aged brass in the brass and bourbon definitely adds a something different. I was curious about that one, how if it would be like a metallic-y smell or something like that. It's not. It honestly, somehow you guys figured out how to make a spent brass out of a rifle or a handgun sit in this bottle along with the other scent profile. I don't know how you guys did it, but it has that same note.
Yeah, can you talk about how you kind of got to that? Because it really is.
What was it? Months.
Months. I mean, I don't. He can answer that better than I can. He put it together. So
I mean, it just took a long time of finding the exact right ratios. We did have a pretty funny experience with the Vetiver incident of 2025.
yeah,
Vetiver is very strong, earthy.
Yeah.
But a lot too much.
Mhm.
It was not a great scent.
no,
Trial and error is important over here. We do it until we get it right.
yeah. You're not gonna give away your secrets of how you come up with brass. No.
Yeah.
We also did it with chrome.
Yeah, I didn't get that one yet, so I'm looking forward to that one because you nailed brass. So, I mean, it's something that people don't really think of when they think of brass. They don't think of the scent, but when you smell this, you're like,
Yeah,
spent brass.
Yeah, I used to do some reloading, and so that's not exactly what the smell was supposed to. But if you've done any of that kind of thing, and you know what that smell, and it's got a little of that smell in it, or machine work or something, But yeah, that's
that smell that sticks to your hands for a couple days after a couple hundred rounds. And like I said, I was the profile sounded great. I was just curious on how that brass, whether it would be an actual like spent brass smell or more of like a metallic-y smell. I was real excited when I put it on and it had that actual spent brass smell, and not that like overdone metallic-y scent to it. So that one was done real well. So what do you guys see for the brand and the business for over the next say like 5 years or so?
I may not be here in 5 years, so you go ahead.
Good answer.
We'll hear what you say about the next 5 years.
I would like to slowly see this become less of just a beard care brand and more of like a lifestyle brand where we have all the beard stuff. That's still our core products, but we'll also have just manly hygiene products, and eventually do our own merch and stuff in house. We called it. We were on with Bearded Bishop, and I made the joke of just slowly growing this into our beard empire.
Yeah, my goal would be in the next 5 years for him to grow this business enough that I can just retire from my real job and pack beard products and send them out. But I'm with him on the goals. But yes, I'm looking to in the next couple 3 or 4 years for sure retire anyway. So and this would give me just a little something to do, keep me from getting bored, and help him grow it to what he wants it to be one of these days.
Hell, when you retire, you could get on the social media and figure out these algorithms.
Yeah.
Since you have
Yeah.
nothing else to do.
You're right. You're right. I've
It might take a whole nother lifetime. Trust me.
No
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. No, I don't know that I'll be unless I can do that on my motorcycle or whatnot when I retire. Algorithms may be the farthest from my mind. I'm gonna let him handle all that.
It sounds like Mike's got plans to be the Phil Robertson of beard care products.
That's it. That's it.
That being said, we got, this show is, beer products, cigars, and alcohol essentially. More favoring towards whiskey. But do you guys drink at all? Do you drink beer? Do you drink wine? Not drink at all? Like what do you guys do in your personal time?
No, I am not a big drinker. I have. And I'm not saying I've never had drinks, but I am not. It's not a daily occurrence for me, for sure. And for him, I'm not going to answer for him. I know what it better be, but for him, it's his choice. But no, I am not saying I've never drank, but I'm not a connoisseur of the bourbons and things of that nature. No,
This is the same exact answer for me.
that's right. That's because I'm sitting right here with him.
Yeah.
And,
We'll talk to you later.
We got a couple of guys that listen that ride. What are you riding?
me, I have a 05 Road King that is more built for shows, and then I have a 2016 Street Glide.
Nice. Yeah. Probably could
You can
have stuck.
see them on Mark Rides on YouTube. So
What do
shameless plug there.
well, talk about it. What's that what do you do
I
on there?
haven't ridden. I just ride motorcycles and go ride on trips and show my experiences, places I go, and talk about that. And like I said, the same thing with that was to always, if the channel ever made money, I would be donating to veterans charities with it. It's more of just a motorcycle channel. I've done a motorcycle like a build on my 2005. Wouldn't call it a build, more I don't just a upgrades and things of that nature, things like that. Going to specific places, riding in Kentucky, riding in. Last big vlog I did was I rode all over Texas, and all of those things. Just recording my riding adventures and showing places that I go. And at some point, I haven't ridden in nearly a year because of all my surgeries, but I just got turned loose to get back on. So, but that's what it's about, is about that channel. It's on. I've had it a few years. It hasn't really made any money yet. It has the capability if I put more into it, but I have a full-time job, so it's hard to. And I don't really ask people for memberships and things like that. I was just going to let it grow naturally, and if it made some money, we were donating. And because, like I say, I have a full-time job, and that money was just going to be for donating to veterans and stuff. So,
Looking
That's
at your
that.
page, your YouTube page, I can see that that is all is
Yes.
something that's not unique to bearded. That is all. So can we hear a little bit about that catchphrase?
well, the catchphrase, it's somewhat of a military phrase sometimes when your
I thought it
sergeant's
might be.
chewing you out and he wants to send you out of the room or whatever, he'll say that is all or whatnot. I had done it a couple of times on a post, and people kind of liked it, and I tried to quit. I didn't really want to do it. I was ranting about something, and so I wrote that at the end of it because I was just mad about something, I guess. And I tried to quit it, and then nobody. And every time I tried to quit it, everybody's like, "You got to say it," and or they come back with me with it. So it just stuck over the years. I would just end everything with "that is all," and on my YouTube channel, that just came. That's my catchphrase. And then Mason decided when we started the beard business that he would just intertwine the two and bring the "that is all" over to the bearded company. So that's how that kind of came about.
I had a
Not a
feeling. I have my father was in the Marine Corps, and he has said that phrase to me more than once. And I thought that that might have something to do with it, but it's always good to hear it, from the mouth of the person that's saying it. So
Yeah, that one's been around for I guess 4, 5, 6 years now, and it just kind of got entangled in my YouTube channel, and then it's just part of who I am now. And he brought it into the business. It's what he wanted to do, so that's where that came from.
So one more thing about that, I got to know the nickname Chip. Where's that coming in? Because it's right there on
See,
your
you're
back.
gonna ask all the really good questions now. When I was in basic training, my dad, not my dad. When I was in, well, he's the reason that I went with my road name. But when I was in basic training, my jaws were a little fat. Not that I was fat, but my little jaws were, and so my drill instructors, like to call me, said I looked like a little chipmunk fellow. They'd always call me up, want to know what I had stored in my cheeks, and things like that. And, they tried to bust me, break me down with it, but it didn't work. So they finally would give up on it. It is what it is. But I had told my dad about it, and he just got a kick out of it. And so, when I came home from basic training and school and all that, they had a welcome home Chip sign in front of my house, and nobody's really ever called me that over the years. And my dad passed away in 2018, and I had when they asked me about my road name and all of that, that's just one of those things that had a meaning, a military meaning to me from my days in the military, and from what it meant to him, and how funny it was. And so that's where that came from.
That's like a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool nickname, though. Like, without knowing the story about the chipmunk, like to be Chip, that's kind of cool.
I have to, it's not as cool once you hear the story.
Yeah, well, no, it's funny to me because growing up, I had a friend that in college he got the nickname of Blade, and he went on to become a Marine, and that's a pretty fucking badass nickname of Blade, right? But it was given to him because I think a couple of our friends drunkenly were watching something online calling it was a Zorro parody called The Gay Blade, and he got it from that somehow. But it turned out to be a pretty badass nickname. So, like, Chip's a pretty cool nickname as long as you don't know the story.
So I've only known or met one other Chip in my whole life. I believe he's the Kentucky State Trooper now. But when I was in college, we worked together, and it was in a very tiny, very hot kitchen where I worked, and he was a server. And he messed up an order one time, and my nickname was Sunshine, specifically because of my demeanor. I'm not,
your peachy attitude.
Yeah, my peachy attitude. It's and I was given that nickname at that restaurant. Well, I lost my mind on this man. He was at least twice as tall as me. I'm 5'7" on a good day, and he's, well, I wouldn't say twice as tall, but he's 6'4" or something like that. Nicest guy you could ever hope to meet. And he walked back there, he said, after we cooled down, he said, I've never wanted to stick somebody's head in the fryer so much in my entire life. And I was like, well, come on and try it, big boy. You know, it just lit me back up. I was ready to go again. But his name was Chip, and I believe his first name is Charles, and that's why he's called Chip. I don't really know. You know, he doesn't have a cool story behind that. So when I saw that patch on your vest there on your cut, I had to know what that was all about. That is a damn cool story. You know, it ends up having strings tied to two different aspects of your life. I really don't know that you could have gone with anything else. If you had, it would have been disingenuous to yourself. You know, it wouldn't make you sense to go with anything else. So that's great.
So Mason, Mark talked about his little routine with butter and whatnot. What's your beard routine? Do you do oil and butter? Do you do one more than the other? What do you typically do?
I will do when I'm getting ready in the morning. I do both oil and butter. I use a little lighter butter in the morning. That's kind of just there to tame some flyaways, if anything. And then I just go butter at nighttime before bed.
That's what I've been doing a lot more lately. Is butter at nighttime. I've for some reason I've been doing a lot. I don't know why, but I've liked it.
I think that would also be our goal with the balm, is that could be maybe what I use in the morning to where it still hydrates like butter, but it has a little hold like. We don't want you to have to use a guitar pick to get it out of our.
Yeah. You guys talked about how not every product or scent works with people. I'm not a big balm fan. Down here in Florida, it's humid, it's hot, weighs it down. It feels like you got an extra scarf on. Butter's perfect. It's lighter.
Yeah.
I've come to find like a liquid butter. I don't know if you guys have looked into doing that. Liquid butter here for me, it's the same properties as butter, just a little bit lighter, so it's a little bit less heavy, even though butter's not heavy. Especially down here in Florida where it's hot and everything. I don't like having that weighed down. So butter, liquid butter, is my choice. Talk about that. Have you guys thought about doing liquid butters at all?
I don't know that I've actually thought about. I've heard of liquid butter, and I've seen some people that use it. I don't know much about it, so as far as us doing it, I don't think we put any real thought into liquid butter. I'm sure it's good. I'm not a balm guy either.
Yeah.
If I was going to twist my mustache up or something, maybe, but I don't do that really. But I don't like a lot of greasy feel on my beard either, and I like a light feel on my beard just enough to keep it hydrated during the day or at night when I go to night. But liquid butter, I would have to look into it and see. That'd be a lot more of the R&D that you like so much. We finally got the butter where we kind of would like it for ourselves, and other people seem to enjoy it also. But that's something to look at. I don't even know what it is. It liquid, like a liquid, or is it just
it's kind of like a in between of oil and butter and like a
think of it like a conditioner consistency.
Yeah,
like that's
right. Okay.
It's a little bit thicker than oil, but it's still liquid form.
Right.
Like I said,
probably just a different ratio of wax to oil.
That's all it is. I know some people love it. Me, I could go either way. I
like it because I don't do balms. I stop at butters.
Yeah.
Like balms, like you, I think it weighs it down. It just I have balms. I don't use balms at all.
Yeah.
I like balms. I used a balm today.
Right.
I might use an oil at night, but my beard kind of it just grows in weird directions especially here. And my beard being as long as it is, generally they curl into my nostrils, and then I'm walking around all day scratching my nose because
Yeah.
something ridiculous is happening.
Right,
So,
right.
and I'm surprised that because part of it's because of the humidity here in Kentucky. It can get kind of nasty, and you guys got some of the same weather. And then Paul, Paul gets the weather that I had 2 days ago, right? So it
Right.
just kind of sweeps east over to Paul because he's on the same uh, latitude there, pretty much. And I'm surprised he doesn't like balms more than he does, but the humidity really makes it spring up and it drives me nuts. So I like balms. I'm not as big of a fan of butters. They tend to put them on and my beard just goes white like snow and I have to work it in and all that. I like the balm that I can just.
Yeah, I'm with you on the humidity. When it's humid, or if it's a rainy day, I get a real frizzy, and so I use a little bit of butter on those days. I don't use a lot of butter, just a little on my finger and rub it in. And I'm not a fan of the greasy too much on it. But I can see in the humidity, because we have it here. I can tell on a humid day, my beard just has a mind of its own and does what it wants to do. And so I can see where somebody would like a balm. And that's why, those are the reasons why we're going to work on getting a balm perfected that we like, because people use them, even though I might not use them, but people do. And nothing wrong with that. I think I have had balms. For me, I like our butter. It's light. It's not. It's a little more like it's a little more than our oil. It's a little bit more than our oil, and it's light. And but like I say, we're going to perfect that balm here this year, hopefully, and we'll see if I like it.
Well, I look forward to it for sure, and I want to state this plainly. I don't mind the butter. I've got some butters in there that I really, 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 really like. Our buddy at he's rebranded, and I don't remember what's Matt's new brand.
Bay Area.
Bay Area. Yeah, it was Biblical Beard, and he's changed it to Bay Area Beard. He's got a balm he sent me. It's his Halloween scent, and it's everything that you want in a fall scent. When the leaves start to crisp and there's a cool humidity in there, like that heavy thickness, and especially in the morning. It's all of that, right? And then the pies and all that good stuff. So it's all right there, and that is great. But I've not had a butter that I really so for me, it's either an oil or a balm. That's right. What I typically go with. And the oils I do like to use at night. And then the balms I like to use early in the day before I go out. And then again, I don't use something every day. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 days where I go and I don't put anything in my beard, and it is spraying all the way up to my chin like this, and whatever. But I just don't like to put something in there every day. I feel like every day is too much of a good thing, and too much of a good thing is never good. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, it's crazy how everybody uses the products differently. I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, for me, oil doesn't really even go on my beard. Oil goes on my skin.
Yeah.
I always use a dropper, whether your product comes with a dropper or not. I have spare droppers, and I put it on my skin, and then I do the whole chicken scratch to get it into my skin. The oil is essentially my lotion for my face, and then the butter is what hydrates my beard. That's why I don't like balms, because they're too heavy for me personally. And to what we were talking about before, if you get those flyaways and stuff, I'm an evolutionary beard scientist. You get a flyaway, I cut it off. The next one that's going to grow in will learn its fucking lesson, not fly away up my nose or anything like that. So I'm always trimming. You start curling the wrong way, you're gone, sucker. And then the next one should learn from that and not go that way. And
Exactly. I get you.
That's the mentality I go with. But I'm big on oils. Oils for my face is really what it is. I know a lot of people use oils for the beard. And I do, I'll rub it through what's on my hands and things like that. But especially down at the bottom and stuff, the butter is really, I think, what hydrates my beard the best, and the oil is what I rely on to keep my face hydrated, so I don't get dry skin and get flaky and all that kind of nasty stuff that people that don't take care of their beards end up getting, and that's why they end up shaving their beards off, because they get that itchy, that dry skin. And I think good quality oils need to really, even if you're putting them on your beard, some people like that, and I do put it on my beard, but it needs to get to your skin as well, because that's the that's what your skin, your face needs.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I push that oil right to the skin, get it all nice, like. But I do a different thing. If I got to fly away, I'll tuck it under and kind of like force it there. It'll come back out, and I'll force it back in. It's kind of like,
so you're a punishment style beard hair guy.
Yeah,
I'm a learn. Learn from your neighbor.
Yeah.
This one's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Else? Is that you guys got anything else?
I do not.
Oh, when I don't know if you touched on it. When is that new scent coming out? Do you have a date yet?
Around the end of April.
Very good.
Around.
Around. No, nothing definite yet, but yeah, that's it.
Definitely looking forward to that, because I want to. Well, I haven't tried your guys' butters yet. When we picked it up, I just picked some oils up, so definitely looking forward to trying some butters. The new scent. Maybe the definitely gonna pick up the Warrior's Rest. Maybe the what was the other one? Freedom Fresh. Is that the other one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe pick some of that up. Just try it out. But yeah, I've like I said, we tried it on our Veterans Day episode, and I've been a big fan since. So
We're glad to hear that.
we picked it up, and when I picked it up and sent it out to the guys, I didn't realize you guys just started like 3 months prior to that or whatever it was.
That was totally coincidence.
We were doing our research right before the episode, and I was like,
these guys are like brand new. Yeah.
Paul's like, I couldn't find anything. I was like, I scrolled on their Instagram and everything, and they just put out on, I think it was like 4th of July on 2025. I was like, they're brand new.
You're
So
definitely that.
No, we're fans though. Definitely, yeah. Let us know when you're dropping the new stuff. We'll push it out for
All
you.
right.
On
Sounds good.
Thank you.
yeah, when you guys if you guys do any posts on Facebook or Instagram or anything, tag us, do collabs, whatever. We'll definitely help push it out.
All right.
Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to that new scent. I'm sure Paul is too. We'll have to get Adam a little sample of that just so he can try it.
and hate it, but it's good quality regardless. It's just not his scent profile.
That's one thing we've come to find out doing this over the last almost 3 years is we don't like every scent profile out there, but as long as the actual base oil is a good one and works well, I can deal with not liking the scent for a couple hours, and as long as it makes me feel good. And like I said, that I don't want to be itchy. I don't want redness. I don't want any of that stuff. And the good oils, the good companies seem to come out with a scent that everyone likes, at least one scent.
I've even I think I've gone on record liking a patchouli beard oil, even though that's the worst scent known to man. But it was a good quality product, and the oil was a great base and everything. So I had to bite my tongue, but so I think the blend is 90% of it.
Yeah.
The scent is what sells it, I think, and you guys probably know that.
Wasn't that with ostrich oil, Paul?
But the blend is what people come back to, because it doesn't break out their face. What'd you say, Adam?
So wasn't that one ostrich oil?
I can't remember. I just know that but the scent of patchouli is, I mean, just disgusting. So don't ever do that, guys.
Yep.
If you take my recommendation, unless you got a bunch of hippie friends. You know, I don't like that scent at all. And there was one I remember thinking, you know, this is going to be awful, and I tried it anyway, and it wasn't horrible because the base blend was good quality product. So, you know, you guys are on the right path with the good quality products, and you know, the scent profiles is what sells marketing wise, but you know, keep them coming back with the good quality products. So keep on that path, and I think you guys are going to be awesome.
No.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, keep up what you guys are doing. The first, well, I want to say the two scents that we had were great. I can't imagine the other two are bad with these. Looking forward to the new scents coming out, and then we'll have to grab the Christmas scent this year for a Christmas special or Christmas episode, whatever we want to call it. We'll have to grab some of that. Yeah, looking forward to see what you guys put out over the next couple of years. Mark, whether you're still with them or you're retired, riding around your bike around the U.S.
I'll be around here somewhere.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to see what comes out of Bearded. That is all.
Appreciate it.
That being said, do you guys want to plug you guys, your socials and website and everything like that?
Website is beardedusa.com, and then all our socials are at bearded. That is all.
I just got to break in there. Beardedusa.com. You guys got that? That's fucking awesome. How was
I
that?
had the same thought.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Like I didn't even realize. I've been looking at your website. You know, the last couple weeks.
I was surprised that was available.
That's incredible that you guys secured beardedusa.com. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it, but he did it, and we're rolling with it. I like it.
That
That's
works.
Right
I
on.
appreciate you guys. I'm just gonna say I appreciate you guys having us on here, and enjoyed the conversation. Enjoyed getting to meet you guys, and like I say, appreciate it letting us get our brand name out there a little bit, and we'll push the podcast all we can, and like I say, we'll stay in touch with you guys.
For sure.
We appreciate that. We don't. I can't say enough how much we appreciate you guys taking the time to sit with us.
Yeah.
You know, the conversation was great. The story was great. The stories. There is one question that I wanted to ask Mason
Here we go.
before we get off here. We heard about your dad's extracurriculars, the things that he likes to do, and you know, we know that you're a screenwriter and things of that nature. But what do you like to do in your off time? Of course, we want to hear from you before we get off of here.
For what I do for fun,
Yeah, like what do you enjoy doing?
I will, if there's a good one out, I like to play some video games.
Okay,
But here recently, I'm really into tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, Daggerheart.
okay.
Definitely.
What's your go-to gaming platform?
PC.
Okay.
That's when you know you're a real one. I've never gotten into. Well, I don't want to say I never got into it. Back in the day, I played some PC games, but never really got into it after that. But I got some buddies who are hardcore into PC gaming, and it's just insane.
That's where I do most of it. I have the PlayStation 5 and the Switch for if exclusives come out, but most of the time I'm playing it on
Yeah.
I'm pretty basic. I've got my Xbox, and it's on the other side of the room from my bed. And I sometimes, after my wife goes to sleep, if I've got an hour of energy left in me, I'll sit there and play a video game. You know, I don't do any of the online shit or anything like that. I'm still stuck in my Nintendo ways back in the day, where it was 1 or 2 player, and that's all you got. And but I like my shooters. I like the Ghost Recons and the Halo and Destiny and things like that. Those are the kind of games that I like to play. So
Talk about Nintendo. I'm right there with you, Mari. the Wii Sports Baseball.
Oh,
I used to play the shit out of the Wii Sports Baseball and the golf game when I had
The
Wii.
bowling game. How did you not say the bowling
Oh,
game?
everyone played that, but golf and baseball was my go-to.
Well,
You
yeah,
bowl-
bowling's the one Mark pro in.
yeah. Our third partner is the Wii champion.
Okay.
There was so I had a fishing
I'm an
game.
Atari guy.
I had a fishing game on the Wii, and one day I decided to grab one of those little kiddie pools. Those like, what are they, 4 or 5 foot round, like this deep pool.
Right.
And I was living with my mom, so I put that in the living room, filled it up with water, got my bathing suit on, sat in there with the Wii fishing pole, and I was sitting there. She came home, and then I had my case of beer next to me. If that actually needed to be said. She came home. She goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I go, "I'm fishing. It was raining outside, and I wanted to go fishing." Needless to say, trying to get that pool full of water out of the house was not fun.
I heard you say Atari, and me and you are closer in age than anyone else on this.
Yeah, you can't beat a great game of Pong.
You cannot beat a joystick and a red button. I'm telling you.
I have
I'm
one.
telling
Well,
you
I
what.
don't. My mom has the Atari sitting in her house, and I keep trying to take it from her. She won't let me.
I'm telling you. I've thrown that joystick and the red button at a
for sure.
At a 12-inch tube black and white TV more times than I can remember as a child.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pitfall was the best Atari game, and I don't care what anybody says. That was an amazing game.
Pitfall was a good one. Pitfall
But,
was good.
That system had so many good games,
It did.
and you
It
had
did.
one button and a joystick.
A joystick and a button, and you always blamed it on that goddamn button, and you just throw it at the TV. But the TVs were indestructible back then too. So
Yeah.
now you throw a feather at my TV, and it'll probably glitch for the next 3 weeks.
Yes, for sure.
Well, guys, I think that brings us to the end of another episode of Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. Be sure to check these guys out. Again, that's beardedusa.com. You can find the charity that Mark mentioned earlier, Mission 22, at mission22.org. That's mission and the numerals 22.org. Tunnels to Towers, also mentioned. You can find them at T, the numeral 2, T.org. And then you can find Mark Rides at Mark Rides on YouTube. So you can check out his adventures on his motorcycle, see those patches that we were talking about, all that good stuff. Make sure to check that out. As always, make sure to support your local veterans, active duty military members, LEOs, first responders, firefighters, all those folks. They're out there giving their all for us, and the least we can do is be supportive. But if you have a favorite veterans charity that you want to give to, we encourage you to do that. Make sure they're vetted. We talked about that before we started recording. There are some that are just pure scams, or some that give cents on the dollar for what's actually donated. So make sure they're vetted. Make sure they're on the up and up as far as the charities go. And then again, make sure to support children in your local community. The world's crazy. Seems to be getting worse. The more the layers get peeled back, and every day in the news and on Facebook, and who knows how much of that you can believe, but still every day there's more and more coming out about people doing horrible things to children, kidnapping them, just awful things. So let's make sure that they've got the support they need. They're the most vulnerable among us, and we need to make sure to look out for them. Even if you don't have kids, someday you may, and then you'll know just how scary the world is. The world has never been more scary to a person than when they have a small person to take care of. Then you begin to realize just how crazy this world is. As always, we thank you for joining us, and until next week, enjoy your spirits and your cigars responsibly. Cheers.